Hello students, welcome to my channel Brothers Academy. Today we will continue with the first chapter of our computer book, which is Evolution of Computers, Chapter 1, Part 2. In today's video, we will discuss the questions raised in the previous session, followed by generations of computer. We will be primarily discussing about the first generation computers, example of first generation computers, and some of the limitations of first generation computers. We will end the session with a short quiz. So, let's begin. The question which we raised in the last session, the first one was, name the first calculating device. And the answer is, the first calculating device is abacus. The second one, what does Swan Pan mean in China? And the answer is, Swan Pan is an abacus of Chinese origin. The next one, who invented difference engine? And the answer is, Charles Babbage invented difference engine. The last one was, who is known as father of computers? And the answer is, Charles Babbage is known as father of computers. So let's continue with today's session. Students, let's discuss about the generations of computer. Students, computers were not invented in a single day. They have evolved through several years and many generations after a long journey of inventions and discovery. With each generation, the computer has become much more powerful and smaller in size. Computers are classified into 5 generations based on the advancement in technology which has happened over the period of time. In today's video, we will be primarily discussing about the first generation computers. So, let's take a look. So, the first generation computers, the period was 1940 to 1958. Let us discuss some of the characteristics of the first generation computers. The main component in the first generation computers was vacuum tubes. This is the picture of vacuum tubes. Vacuum tubes consumed lot of electricity. They were very large in size. As you can see, very bulky, almost the size of the room. Small internal storage and very expensive because these vacuum tubes produced lot of heat and the installation used to fuse frequently. Therefore, the installation of such computers were very expensive. Input was based on punched cards and paper tape. So primarily in this generation of computers, batch processing was used. Support machine language for instructing the system. These computers were dependent on lowest level programming language, which is known as machine language, by the computer to perform different kinds of operation and for instructing the system. So the main thing which you need to remember about the first generation computers are the period of first generation computers, the main component in the first generation computer, which was vacuum tubes, very bulky, very large in size, quite expensive. Input was based on punched cards and paper tape. Support machine language for performing different kinds of operation. Now, let us take a look at some of the examples of first generation computers. And the first one in this category is Mark 1. Mark 1 was designed by Howard H. Aiken in the year 1944. This is the picture of Mark 1. You can see it is quite big, occupying almost the size of a room. But this one was the first fully automatic calculator. It was about 15 meters long and the wires connecting were about 800 kilometers long. So the different wires connecting the various parts of the machine, they were like about 800 kilometers long. It was quite slow, used to take 3 to 5 seconds per calculation. So the points which you need to remember regarding Mark 1 are automatic calculator, first fully automatic calculator designed by Howard H. Aiken in the year 1944, about 15 meters long, and the wires connecting different parts of the machine, they were about 800 kilometers long. Used to take 3 to 5 seconds per calculation. Let us take a look at some of the more examples of first generation computers. And we have the next one as ENIAC. The full form is Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. This was the first fully electronic digital computer designed by John Mauchly and John Eckert of the University of Pennsylvania, US. Consisted of 18,000 vacuum tubes with an area of 63 square meters and weighed more than 27,000 kg. Faster compared to Mark 1. Mark 1 used to take about 5 seconds for adding two large numbers. However, ENIAC could do the same operation in 200 microseconds. So as we are progressing, the computer is becoming much more faster. Didn't have the stored program concept. Now, student, you must be wondering what is stored program concept. This is the concept wherein your instructions and data resides in the main memory so that CPU can fetch it directly for the quick calculation. Now, time for some of the important facts. The main usage of ENIAC was in the war-related computations such as it helped in the building of the atomic bomb in terms of calculations in war operations. It also helped in the constructions of ballistic firing tables and ability to decode confidential enemy messages. So the points which you need to remember regarding ENIAC are: first fully electronic digital computer designed by John Mauchly and John Eckert, consisted of 18,000 vacuum tubes with an area of 63 square meters. Faster compared to Mark 1, didn't have the stored program concept. So this was all about the ENIAC. Now let us take a look at some of the more examples of first generation computers. And the next one is EDSEC, Electronic Delay Storage Automatic Calculator. This one was the first electronic computer with stored program concept, designed by M. Wilkes at Cambridge University in 1949. It occupied an area of 20 square meters and weighed 6,000 kg. Slightly faster compared to ENIAC. But this one was the first electronic computer that used stored programs. And the next one I have is EDVIC, Electronic Discrete Variable Automatic Computer. It also had the capacity to hold stored programs, designed by John Eckert and John Mauchly in 1944, occupied an area of 45.5 square meter and weighed 8,000 kg. Students, you must be wondering, EDVIC was designed in 1944, EDSIC was designed in 1949, but then why EDSIC was the first electronic computer with stored program concept? There is some important fact. Though EDVIC was designed earlier than EDSIC, but its development got delayed, which made EDSIC the first computer with the stored program concept. Now, who was the person who gave the concept of stored program? It was John von Neumann. EDSIC could perform 700 additions in a second. So it was faster compared to ENIAC. So the points which you need to remember regarding EDSIC are full form of EDSIC, electronic delay storage automatic calculator, first electronic computer with the stored program concept, who designed it, how much area it used to occupy, and it was slightly faster compared to ENIAC. Similarly, the points which you need to remember regarding EDVIC are full form of EDVIC, electronic discrete variable automatic computer. It also had the capacity to hold stored program, who designed it, and how much area it used to occupy. So these are the important points which you need to remember regarding EDVIC. Now, let us take a look at the next example of first generation computer. It is UNIVAC. UNIVAC was the first commercially available electronic computer to handle numeric and text data. So far, the computers which we saw, they were able to handle only the numeric data, but UNIVAC was the one which was able to handle numeric and text data, designed by John Mauchly and John Eckert in 1951, occupied an area of 35.5 square meter and weighed 13,000 kg. Now, let us take a look at some of the limitation of first generation computers. The first limitation of the first generation computers are power consumption was high. As we discussed, the main component in the first generation computer was vacuum tube, which produced a lot of heat, as a result of which the power consumption was very high. Operating system was quite slow, used to solve only one problem at a time. They were very bulky, very huge in size, so they used to take large space for installation. They were quite expensive to build because of the main component was vacuum tube and it used to fuse frequently, so they were quite expensive to set it up, and they were, as a result of which the maintenance cost was high. Since they were very big in size, so it was not easy to carry them from one place to another, so they were not portable. So these are some of the limitations of first generation computers. So the points which you need to remember regarding UNIVAC are first commercially available electronic computer which handle both numeric and text data, who designed it and how much area it used to occupy. And regarding the limitations of first generation computers, the point which you need to remember, power consumption was high, operating speed was quite slow, large space, very bulky, quite expensive, maintenance cost was high, they were not portable, it was not easy to carry them from one place to another. Now, time for a short quiz. What is the main component in first generation computers? And the second one is name the first electronic computer that used stored programs. Who designed Mark I? Which generation mainly used batch processing? What is the period of first generation computers? Students, if you know the answers of these questions, please write in the comment section, and the answer of these questions we will discuss in our next video. Thank you students for your time. I will be uploading the remaining videos of chapter 1 in the coming days. Till then, bye bye. Take care.